Are you trying to grow sales but are seeing stagnant growth or declining margins? Here are the 10 steps to B2B sales growth. Step 1, target. Understand the ideal target and your value proposition. Who are the highest margin customers? Who close at the highest rate? Think of the attributes that describe the best prospects and the worst prospects to identify the differences. Consider your growth investments in a niche and replicate from there. This is referred to as hyper-specialization by Verne Harnish in Scaling Up. Hyper-specialization drives up margins and your differentiation. You can imagine how compelling your content and value proposition and case studies would be if you targeted a niche. Step 2, understand your buyer's needs, decision drivers, and questions along the purchasing process. One missed opportunity here that I see often: Google. Think of it as the world's largest focus group. Use this massive data set to understand the intent and needs of your buyers at every stage of the funnel. Step 3, content and campaigns. Create great, snackable content and sequenced campaigns. Know their stage, your offer, and the KPI that you're after. We find some organizations focused on CPCs and click-through rates. These metrics can be a distraction. It's about ROI ultimately, and the steps that lead up to that. Monitoring the full funnel and conversion rates along each step is important so that you can choose one area of the funnel to test and optimize. Measuring all the way to sales is critical. You should know what revenue is being driven by what efforts, and where would you spend your next dollar. Step 4, named accounts. Identify your named targets from step 1. This is account-based marketing, also known as ABM. These targets can be based on your best prospects analysis, based on CRM's historical data, stakeholder strategy discussions, salespeople's insights, and market data on your addressable universe. I hear ABM getting a bad reputation, and it's just because it's not being deployed properly. ABM is effective when it is hyper-targeted based on your prospect's stage in the journey and their persona. But keep in mind, here is what would trump a targeted ABM approach. If you have buyers who are leaning in and demonstrating intent to purchase, those would be the target first. Always start at the bottom of the funnel to capture the demand if it's there and easily identifiable, as opposed to generating demand. Step 5, efficient channel promotion. So this is where you can do things like custom audience matches on Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Integrate email marketing, which is very low cost, and web conversion rate optimization. Because if you drive traffic to your site and don't have a buyer-centric flow that you've optimized, you're leaving money on the table. This is where marketing automation can monitor returning visitors, and you can alert sales even if they haven't filled out a form. Step 6, test, test, test. Iterate channels, messaging, and personas. We do this weekly. You may be familiar with agility, commonly deployed in the IT space. Now, marketers are taking on agile practices. These help you drive speed to results with an iterative framework. Step 7, incorporate higher cost channels. So for the prospects who are highly engaged but haven't made it over the hump to connect with sales, do highly personalized and high-value targeting with tactics like direct mail and events. You could even do your own hosted events. What's important here is that what you are offering is high value and highly personalized. Step 8, sales enablement. Here's where we want to maximize engaged prospects via sales enablement strategies to generate high-value appointments that will close at a higher rate and at a higher margin. But it's not just about inbound appointments. The name of the game here is inbound hot prospects combined with outbound warm prospects. No effort from your sales team should be cold, but outbound works. You'll just want to prioritize the prospects your sales team is trying to reach and when to reach them, and with what message to maximize every buyer interaction. Step 9, document the recipe. You'll want to document the framework, the process, and the recipe that works, so that as you continue to optimize, you're building further efficiencies and effectiveness. Step 10, scale what works. Replicate the recipe in other highly specialized niches. You may consider a partner to help you create the recipe. That's what we do at Swivel. We work alongside you so that when the time comes to scale, your team is fully charged to do it on their own.